working before. I don't see the dotted line, but it's probably there somewhere. Really? Where is it? Well, maybe it's recording it. It's supposed to be a dotted line around there somewhere. Okay, anyway. So on this one I just gave you, this is the one in the case on WACC. You guys spent some time over the weekend playing with this? You got it down? Got it wired pretty well? Okay, and then working on present values, future values, and duties, and all that stuff too, I hope. So, okay. Anyway, so this one's pretty straightforward, I think, but it has you go through all the different calculations, and what's nice is it's the idea of growth rate. Put that in here. So, and we're going to use this on real companies too, but it's kind of nice to have something sort of phony for a while. Okay, so what should we do with this thing? What's the basic formula? I want to know what? I want to know the cash flows, right? And then forever. And then what do I want to do? Divide them by what? Weighted average cost of capital. And what's that going to give me? This is what I'm supposed to earn off of all the assets. This is what I do earn off of all the assets. What's that going to give me then? Well, estimated cash flows. This is the estimated annual cash flows here, and then that's the WACC. I'm dividing the WACC, cost of capital, into the estimated cash flows. What's that going to give me? Seeing as the cash flows are coming from all the assets, what's it going to give me? The market value of the assets. This is going to give me an independent estimate of the market value of the assets. So what I'm going to have. That's what I'm going after. So I estimate the cash flows. I estimate the weighted average cost of capital. Divide the weighted average cost of capital with the estimated cash flows. I get the estimated market value of the assets. That's it. Think about it this way. How about if I had, $100,000 of assets, and I earn $10,000 a year forever with those assets? Think about an account, an investment account, where I've got $100,000 invested and I'm earning $10,000 a year. What do you think you're earning a year? And we take it out every year, right? Don't assume growth, right? What are we earning every year? Well, 10 on 100, I earn 10%. This must be 10% then. Everybody agree with that? Okay, so here's what you got. You don't know this one. You know you're earning 10. You know you're supposed to earn 10%. What's it worth? 10 divided by 10% is 100. That's all it is. That's all this is doing, okay? Is it true that if I earn a certain amount of cash flows, and I'm supposed to earn a certain discount rate, interest rate, right, cost of capital, that would give me the estimated market value of those assets that I have invested? Sure. So instead of having the investment in the assets and taking it times what you're supposed to earn and predicting the cash flows, what we've done is we predicted the cash flows, predicted the cost of capital, and computed what the assets must be worth. We're just reversing that process. Just not a big deal, guys. Not a big deal at all to do that, okay? And it makes intuitive sense. Let this make sense to you, and then there's nothing to remember, okay? It just makes sense. Okay, so here we go. If I knew the estimated market value of the assets, could I subtract the estimated market value of the liabilities and get the estimated market value of the stock? Sure, of the equity. That's all we're doing, okay? So I have my own independent estimate of the market value of the assets. I subtract my estimate of the market value of the liabilities from that, and that gives me my estimated market value of the equity. That's all I do, okay? Then if I took that estimated market value of the equity and I divided it by the outstanding shares, what would I get? Market value per share. That's it. Okay, now you get really fancy with this. You have all kinds of derivations of this formula, make it more and more complex. But the reality is you're making such rough estimates anyway. This works pretty good, okay? People would start with this, okay? Then you try to be more and more sophisticated. What you get more sophisticated about is estimating your cash flows, estimating your WACC, estimating your liabilities, right? Trying to get more and more refined, okay, in coming up with these estimates. But it's still the same model. So estimated market value of equity divided by the number of outstanding shares This is why you won't really use your notes, because it's just intuitively obvious what this is. Estimated market value per share. Ta-da. So I want to get there, okay? How do I get there? What do I need? Okay? Each one of these things, right? That's it. Okay? What's the estimated cash flows? What do we do for estimated cash flows? Come on, you guys. Should have this down by now. Net income before tax. And don't just take it off of the income statement, right? You want the normal net income before tax. If there are unusual or infrequent items that you don't think are going to be continuing, get out of it, right? If there's something, everybody got the idea? If interest is shown in non-operating, put it in. If there's reorganization costs there, maybe leave it out. You use your judgment, okay? So we want to get our best estimate of net income before tax times what?
1 month's tax rate.
Yeah. Why are you taking out the taxes? Because you have to pay taxes. You don't get those cash flows, right? Okay? And we want to calculate it this way. I don't want to just take net income after taxes. Why? Because my net income before taxes isn't the number that's on the income statement necessarily. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, right? Do they have any unusual items or anything? Anything you want to adjust for? Okay, that's it. Okay, and I don't want to just take the normal tax, or the tax rate that year. I want the normal one, right? Across maybe all 3 years, or whatever I think I'm really predicting the future tax rate. That's what I'm doing. Okay, and then add to that what? The non-cash items, and there's one really big one. Depreciation amortization. So we just pick that one out. I know that there's really all sorts of changes in accounts payable, accounts receivable, inventory, all that stuff. We can adjust for those too if you want to get more sophisticated, right? We're assuming those aren't changing. Big assumption, okay? We're assuming the effect of that's immaterial. So that would be my estimated cash flow. So in this particular problem, what did you have to do? This is a little bit of an accounting problem mixed with finance. What do we have to do? I think to get the income, we'd have to take our sales less depreciation expense, less interest expense, less tax expense, right? Less all other expenses. Oh, I want to do it before tax expense, don't I? So what's the net income before taxes? Wouldn't that be your sales less depreciation expense, less your interest expense, less all other expenses? What number did you get for that? 24. Okay, so it's 24,000. So what I've got is 24,000 here before taxes. Okay? And then what would you do? Where would I get my tax rate? I didn't give you the tax rate, so what do you have to do? Compute it. Okay? So what's your tax rate?
37.5%.
Yeah, you know that you've got how much taxes? In the current, use the most current year, I guess. 9,000, right? 9,000 divided by what? So my tax rate is, the tax, of course, 9,000, divided by what? Before tax income of 24? Is that right? So what is that? What did you say it was? 37.5%. That'd probably be a good estimate, huh? We'll use that. 0.375. And then what do you do for your depreciation and amortization? Well, I happen to give you the depreciation expense. You got it, right? Okay, when you do it at a real company, we'll probably have to look at the cash flow statement to find that. Okay? So how much was it? 35? Right? So I've got 24,000 times 1 minus 0.375 plus 35,000. What did you get when you did that? My estimated cash flows. That's this one, right? How much is it?
50,000.
How much?
50,000.
50 even. I made the math come out really nice. That's my estimated cash flows. I've got it made, you guys. I'm on my way. Just relax and do this. Do you know where to find those pieces of information in the financial statements? Of course you do. Just go get them. Relax when you do this. Doesn't matter how big the company is or what's going on with it. Sometimes you have to look around a little bit, right? But go find it. Everybody in this room will have a different answer. Not, well, maybe not the cash, but certainly for the market value per share you will. Okay? Everybody have a different answer. All right, so we got that one. What's WACC? What do you want to do for WACC? Weighted average cost of capital is what, you guys? Weight of the debt times the cost of the debt, right, guys? Plus weight of the equity times the cost of the equity. True? Okay, what do I use to get my weights?
Counting equation.
Yeah, basically, right? Except I want to use what? Not the book values, I want to use the market values. Sure. So what I'm going to do, I wish we had more room. Oh well. I'm going to do assets equal liabilities plus equity. Okay, I'm going to compute what I think the market value of the assets are. Now this is the market's estimate, isn't it? What am I going to do? For equity, I'm going to use the number of outstanding shares, right? Times the market value per share. Now this is what the market thinks they're worth, not what I think they're worth. That's what I'm trying to estimate up here, is what I think they're worth. By the way, those of you who are mathematicians know that this is a fallacious model, because I use one of the criteria for determining the value is the value, right? So it's circular reasoning, so that's terrible. The model still works pretty good. Okay, so the number of outstanding shares is how many?
50 million.
We had 50 million. Oh, these were all in thousands, weren't they? So these are really millions. This is 24 million, 50 million, that's 50 million. Okay, so it's 50 million. I'll just leave the last ones off, right? That's the number of outstanding shares. Everybody got it? And then what's the market value per share? 10 bucks, wasn't it, at the end? So how much did we have? 500 million? Is that right? Okay, everybody good? So this number over here for equity is 500 million. Everybody good? Okay, then I'm going to add the estimated market value of the liabilities to that, but what am I going to use for that one? Okay, what's this going to be? Proxy is what? The book value. And by the way, of debt. What you could do is you could just use the interest-bearing debt if you want, but be careful. If you only use interest-bearing debt, that's going to change your total assets, right? Your estimate of assets, because it'll be less because you got the non-interest-bearing debt. And then be careful when you calculate your interest, it's going to be based on just those liabilities, right? So you got to keep apples and apples. So if you only want to use interest-bearing, make sure you're using only interest-bearing everywhere. If you want to use all the debt, go ahead and use it all. But when you use all the debt, it's going to make the interest rate look ridiculously low, right? Because a lot of these companies have a lot of non-interest-bearing debt. What are the non-interest-bearing debt? What do they have? Any accrued liabilities and any accounts payable, right? Could be really big numbers, huh? That have no interest on them. Okay, got the idea? So if you only want to use interest bearing, it's going to make the debt much less, it'll make the interest rate much higher, right? They're going to use the same interest no matter what. Okay, good. So what are we going to use there? It's going to be the book value of the liabilities. That would be the end of the year, right? Not the average. That'd be the end of the year. That's 100 million. Everybody agree with that? So you added the two together and you got 600 million, didn't you? And then what did that do for you? 100 divided by 600, the assets are 100% of themselves, of course. What are the liabilities? 100 divided by 600, what is that? It's 1/6, which is, what's that?
1.67.
Yeah, it's 16.7%, isn't it? Okay? And then what's the equity? It's 500 divided by 600 is what? 83.3%? Forever, right? 83.3333 forever. Everybody agree? 83%? 17%? Of the money you have invested in assets, 17% comes from debt, 83% comes from equity. True? Okay? So what I'm going to do is for my weights, I'm going to use the 16% and the 83%. So that's all there is to it. The weight is going to be 0.16167, right? Times the cost of the debt, plus the weight's going to be 0.833 times the cost of the equity, okay? So then what are we going to do for cost of debt? How would you get your cost of debt here, you guys? Cost of debt is what?
Interest rate.
The interest rate. But on this, on the interest rate, what's the deal? It's the interest rate what? Before or after taxes? I get to put the interest on my tax return. The government pays part of my interest for me, right? Everybody agree with that? The government's going to pay part of your interest. Any dollar you put on your tax return, reducing your net income, taxable income does what? Saves you taxes. For every dollar of interest I put on my tax return, how much am I going to save? 37.5 cents. Right, guys? More expense, less income, less taxes. Everybody agree? Common sense, isn't it? Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the interest rate. Well, what's the interest rate? How would I get my interest rate? How about interest expense divided by what? Average liabilities. I like it. Why would I use average? Because I'm an accountant, I guess. Finance people typically use year end. A lot of times it'll make absolutely no difference. If their debt doesn't change very much, no different, right? But if the debt goes way up or way down, average is probably better, probably. Okay? Really, a weighted average would be much better for the debt. So anyway, let's use average. What's the beginning at debt? 90. What's the ending? 100. What's the average debt? 95. Everybody agree with that? Okay, and how much is the interest? I've got interest expense, don't I? You're gonna have to look that up for a real company. 6 million, is that right? What's 6 million divided by 95 million? What interest rate did you get?
6.3%.
Okay, that's 6.3%, but what is that? That's I, right? That's the interest before tax. And what are you gonna wanna do, guys? Take that interest rate times what? 1 minus the tax rate. Is it going to be the same tax rate? Yes. Same exact one. So what do I have here, everybody? I have 6.3% times what? 1 minus 0.375. This is what you did, right? I hope everybody sitting in the room did that. This is just a real quick review. Okay? So what is 6.3 times 1 minus 0.375? 0.6225. 3.9 about? Okay, be sure and take out the tax impact. Okay, so now I got 3.9% here. Okay, so 3.9% times 0.167, that number is going to mean nothing. 17% of your assets are financed with debt, and 3.9% is the cost of the debt after tax, right? When you multiply the two together, you're just going to get a factor. It doesn't mean anything. What is that anyway? What's 1/6 of 3.9 in other words? 0.6 or something? Or what's the number? Point what? 0.0065. So 0.65%. 0.167 times 3.9. It's kind of nice to move one of them over, not both of them. Is that 0.6?
Yes, that's 0.065.
Okay, 65%. 0.65%, right? Is their interest rate really that low? No, they have a lot of non-interest bearing debt, probably, right? Probably not. Okay, so, or is it really 3.9? I'm sorry. No, it's probably not really that low. They probably have some non-interest bearing debt. Okay, that's after tax. Although I don't know, 6.3, that's pretty high interest. Okay, what are we going to do for KE? What do we use for KE, everybody? CAPM. Okay, so let's do CAPM. What is CAPM? Equals what? CAPM is KE, risk-free plus beta, the company's variability with the market returns, it's a proxy for the company's risk, times what? The risk premium, which is return on the market, minus risk-free. The board is way too small, okay? I like that other classroom, it's a great, huge monster. Okay, so what do we have for risk-free, everybody? What did it say in this particular problem? This is old, isn't it? 30-year was 4.7%. It's only 2.1 or something today. That's amazing. Okay, so what's the risk-free going to be over here, of course, when we subtract risk-free? Same thing, right? 4.7. Use the same one in both places, of course. That says percent. Okay, and then what? What's the beta?
1.2.
Okay, it's 1.2 at the end of the year. So I got 1.2. And what's the return on the market? Did I give you one? Yes, you have to make an assumption. Okay? So what do we think the difference between the risk-free and the return on the market would be? In other words, the risk premium. This stuff in here is the risk premium, you guys. Okay? The risk premium is the difference between the return on the market and the risk-free, right? Okay, so what do we think that is? Somewhere between 5 to 7 or 8%. I like 8. 5 to 7%. Let's say it's 7. What would it be? If we have a 4.7, risk-free, what would we expect the market to earn if it's gonna have a 7% risk premium? You'd have to add 7 to 4.7, what would you get, 11.7? 11.7, okay? Whatever it is. So what we've got is 7%. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 7%, 11.7 less 4.7. 7% times 1.2 is how much? 8.4? And then I'd add 4.7 to that, what would you expect this company to earn? 8.4 plus 4.7, huh? If you use 7%. If you use 6, you'll get less, right? Use 5, you get less for your risk premium. Got the idea? So did you guys pick a risk premium somehow? Okay. All right, so what did we get?
13.1.
You got about how much?
I got 13%.
13% even? So what did you use for your risk premium?
7.
7. So at 7%, he gets 13 over here, exactly?
No, 13.1.
Okay, 13.1%. What does that mean? That's how much the equity holders would expect to earn, 13.1 for their given risk level. Got it? And for the current inflation rate, that's built into the risk-free rate. Make sense? Okay? Obviously higher inflation than now. Okay? And these were real numbers, by the way, at one time. Okay? Obviously. Okay? I guess obviously. So the stockholders expect to earn 13.1. The debt holders only earn after taxes 3.9. That's all it costs us. Got it? Debt holders are earning 6.3. But after taxes for us, it only costs 3.9. So what you do is you take 5/6 of the 13.1, wouldn't you? So 0.833 times 13.1%, what is that factor? What's that amount?
0.109.
10.9%?
Yeah.
Give me another decimal place. 10.9.
1.
Okay. I only want another one because I have 2 here, right? So 0.65 plus 10.91 would be my what? WACC. We got it. We're all the way there. How much is that?
11.6.
So maybe 11.9% good enough?
This is just 12.
12%? Probably used a different risk premium or something. Maybe use 12% for the market return. Oh, I think it'd get another decimal place then.
Hey, Keith, I have a question.
Yeah.
I thought you subtracted the market return minus the risk-free return.
You do. And what I'm saying is the market return, the difference between the two is the risk premium. Okay? So what I've got is the risk premium equals the return on the market that you expect in the future forever, right?
Yeah.
Minus the risk-free. So what I said was, well, what if this is 5 to 7% is what you really do, right? So what does that make the return on the market? If you want this to be about 7%, right?
Okay.
And this one is 5%,
Okay.
4.7. This one must be about 12%.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So on a quiz, I will either tell you what the risk premium is, the difference, which in this case would be 7%, or I'll tell you what the return on the market is. So read carefully, right? There's the different things. Otherwise you get ridiculous numbers, okay? Got it?
Got it.
Good. Okay, so everybody, yeah, you can read that. So does this make sense, guys? Not too bad.
What did you get for what?
I got for WACC 11.86. Some people got 12% out here, 11.9. What numbers did you guys get?
I got 1.5.
I got
Okay, what you
11.5.
probably did was use a lower risk premium. That would work, right? If you think the market forever is going to return 10% instead of 12%, that'll get a lower one, right? Okay,
But it's still fine.
based on your assumption, what your risk premium is. Somewhere between 5 to 7 I would have used if I were you guys, right? Okay, seeing as how we set the paper. Okay, all right, so now what do we know? We have the estimated cash flows are 50. We know the WACC, let's use 11.9, okay? That's good enough. I need to earn on my assets on average 11.9 to keep the debt holders happy and the shareholders happy. That's what we just computed. That's my weighted average cost of capital. If I am buying, or if I'm making new investments, I must earn that amount. If I earn less, my share values are going to go down. If I earn more, they'll go up. But if I earn more, I'm probably assuming more risk in the shareholder's life. That's my target. That's what I expect to earn, right, when I invest in new assets. So how much is the estimated market value of my assets if right now I'm generating 50,000 in cash flows and my cost of capital is 11.9? Just divide 0.119 into 50,000 and you've got your estimated market value of the assets. Everybody good? That's all it is. Some number times 11.9% is 50,000. Okay, divide the 50,000 by 11.9%. What do you get? I think the way I did it, I used 12%. I made up the problem. Right?
433,212,000. 212,000.
Good enough. 433.2 million, something like that. What's my estimated market value of the liabilities? Don't think about it too much. What did we do? What do we use as a proxy for our liabilities? The 100 million book value, didn't we? It'll be the book value as a proxy for the market value. You can calculate it if you want, right? Just kind of present value of all the future cash flows on that debt. Value it back to now. You go up, look up your bonds in the bond market and see what they're selling for, right? So you could use the real market value if you wanted. Usually it doesn't make any difference. So we got 100 million here. Everybody got the idea? What does that give me for the equity? If I got 433.2 on my assets, everybody get that number by the way? No? Uh-oh. 500 divided 50,000, 50. Yeah, this is 50, that's 50 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 50 million. Come on, keep it. 50 million divided by 11.9. Is that not 433?
I have 420.
Yeah, well, I got.
Oh, geez, somebody's messing us up. Okay. All right. Oh, now I did it. Oh, here we go. Well, let's use the right number. You got 420?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Around 168.
And, you know, it'll be a little bit different. What are we doing here? Come on, have a heart. Okay. What am I not in properly, you guys? Oh, I just lost my whole thing, didn't I? Isn't that weird? How do I get back into?
Look at a little down on the.
Put the what?
Down.
This?
Down. Down. Right there. Look to the left. The left. No. Left. The left thing. Right there.
Click this one?
Yeah.
Still not there. That gives me the ability to move, not to write. Right? Well, that's back. Oh, there it is. That's it. Now you got it. Thank you. Okay. Somehow I got out of there. And it's gone again. Okay. So how much you guys say it was? 420?
Yeah, 420, 168.
Something like that, million. Okay? So if you got say you had 422 million, and that's total assets, and your liabilities you estimate are 100 million, what would you have, guys? It's common sense, right? 321.7 million. How many outstanding shares did we have? It was 50 million we used down here, right? It's 50 million. Divide 50 million in, and what do we estimate the market value per shares? 50 into 321.7, right? What'd you get? 644 or 643?
643.
About, okay? Everybody see it? Just getting to be common sense, right? Common sense. Okay, now what do we want to know beyond that? By the way, so far, what's your weighted average, what is the before tax cost of debt? What is it? 6.3% we calculated. Here it is down here, right? Okay. What is the cost of equity? That's WACC, or CAPM rather, right? 13.1, there it is. Okay. What's the weight of the debt? If I ask something like that. 16.7. What is the weight of the equity? 83.3. What's the after-tax cost of debt? 3.9. Right? We could do all these, couldn't we? What's the WACC? 11.9, we said, 11.86. What is the annual cash flow? We said 50 million, didn't we? Okay. What is your estimate of the total market value of the assets? I'm just walking you through it, all I did. 421.7 or so? Something like that? Okay, whatever you got. What is the estimated market value per share? 643, everybody agree? Estimated market value of the equity was 321.7. Okay, no big deal. Okay, and then, what are we gonna do for what were the dividends? We'll come back to that. That one's too easy. What is the implied growth rate? Now, what do you do with the implied growth rate, and then what is a 3% growth rate? Let's do the 3% first. What would I do to find out the growth rate here, you guys? What do I know? What do I know about this company? Let's assume that the market agrees with us that there is $50 million coming in every year. Let's assume they agree. Let's assume they agree with the 11.9%, and we want growth of 3%. Now here's the idea. This is growth, right? Growth equals 3%. Here's the deal. If you can get an increase in cash flows, or get some of your cash flows through growth, you don't need to earn as much. If I'm going to grow 3% every year, that's 3% less I have to earn. I'm getting it out of growth instead of earning. That's the way to get it intuitively, right? And we can prove this mathematically if you don't want to mess with that. But 11.9% less 3 is how much you have to earn if you're getting 3 from growth. So all I need to get is 8.9%. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your 50 million cash flows you're getting, divide it by WACC minus growth. Got it? So it's the same estimated cash flows divided by WACC and then minus growth. If you do it without growth, growth is just 0, okay? WACC minus growth. That's all we're doing, okay? So what is that, 8.9%? Good. What's 8.9% divided into 50 million? So 50 divided by 0.089, right? That's going to make this worth a lot more with 3% growth. Make sense? Right? Company's worth more. Smaller discount rate, worth more, right? We have 50 million forever, right? 8.9%, what does that come up to?
561.
561 million. Subtract what from it? Same liabilities, 100 million. Market agrees with us that that's what the liabilities are worth. So what would the value now be of the equity? With 3% growth. This is with 3% growth. What would the equity be worth now? 461? Get the idea? How many shares are there? 50 million. This is too easy, isn't it? What's 461 divided by 50 million? With 3% growth. This is no growth, right? What do we get with 3% growth? What's the value? Much higher, of course. How much is that?
22.
How much?
$9.22.
You know what? We're getting close to what the market thinks is the growth rate, aren't we? How do I know that? What does the market think the stock's worth? 10. We just calculated 922. So the market growth rate must be a little higher, huh? Everybody agree with that? So what would you do for that one? What do you think you would do? Let me get rid of some of this stuff down here so we have room to calculate it on the same sheet. Probably good to see it in one place. Let's get rid of this. Here's a room. You know where all that stuff came from. Okay, so let's do this. Let's figure what it must have been. What I'm going to figure is what must it have been, okay? Let's see. 50 million dollars, right, for cash flows, divided by WACC. This is the estimated cash flows, same ones, right? It's the same estimated cash flows here, right? Here and here, same stuff, okay? Divided by WACC minus growth. And I know what WACC is. What's WACC? 11.9%, guys. So there's some G when I subtract growth. When I subtract growth from 11.9 and divide it into 50 million, is going to give me an estimated market value of the assets that the market thinks they are. What does the market think the assets are worth? I just erased it, didn't I? What did the market think the assets were worth? What was the total that the market thought the assets were worth?
No, for
With no, well, no, with their current value.
oh,
That includes growth. Includes what the market. What is it?
420
No, that's what we thought. What did the market think? The market thinks 600. Because what the market has is what? Minus the liabilities equals the equity, right? What did the market think the equity was worth? 50 million shares at
$10.
$10. That was 500 million, wasn't it? Right? That's what the market thinks the equity is worth. All that is 50 million shares times $10 per share. That's what the market thinks the stock's worth. Everybody got it? Then if you add to that the liabilities, right? That will give you the assets. Okay? Yeah, that's what we did, wasn't it, to do our weights? Okay? Erased the wrong part, didn't I? Okay, 100 plus 500 is how much? 600. So we know the market thinks that the assets are worth 600. You don't have to go through this calculation over here, do you? You can just pick up the 600, right? We know the market thinks they're worth 600. So what I've got is 50 million divided by some number is 600. You see it? What is that number? 50 divided by what is 600? What do? Take 50 and divide it by 600. You find out what the WACC minus growth is.
0.03.
So 8.3%. So I know that WACC minus growth here, WACC minus growth is 8.3%. What's WACC? We'll do it over here. What was WACC? WACC minus growth, we just determined, must be 8.3%. You guys agree with that? It's got to be. Because 8.3 into 50 gives me the 600. Less the 100 liabilities gives me what the market thinks the equity is worth, right? 500 million. So what I've got is WACC, that what I think WACC is 11.9, assuming the market agrees with me, minus growth equals 8.3%. Can you tell me what growth must be? 3.6%. And see, we got fairly close with 3%, didn't we? If you put 3.6 in as growth, when we calculated it this way here, if you put 3.6 in there, it'll come up $10. Got it? The market thinks the growth is 3.6% apparently. And then what can you do? You can ask yourself if you agree or not. Is the market overly optimistic? Well, then I think it should be worth less. I'll use a smaller growth rate, right? By the way, could growth rates be negative? Absolutely, right? When would they be negative? When the market really lowers the value of the stock, right? So that what we've got here, instead of it being 11.9 minus growth is some smaller number, it's 11.9 minus growth is a bigger number. So let's say we have 13% over here, right? If I have 13% here and 11.9 there, what do I have? Minus 1.1%, right? Yeah, 1.1 make 13. You get a negative growth of 1%. And we're assuming forever that, and there are better models, there are more complex models that don't make that assumption based on the same thing. But what's the deal? Cash flows 20 years from now, discounted at about 12%. What do you think? Not very valuable, huh? How about 50 years from now? 100 years from now? Infinity. You got the idea? So I really only care about the next few years. That makes sense? Okay. All right. Anyway, so that's the story, gang. And I somehow lost my whole thing. No, I didn't. There it is. Okay? Everybody got it? So let's play with a real company then, huh? Oh, got one other thing. How did we find out what dividends were? Did you guys do it? Did you do it? I mean, what's that? It's on the video. That's cheating. Okay. Did anybody do it without looking at the video? Did you do it? Kind of accountants are you guys. What do we know in this company? Equity consists of what? Contributed capital plus retained earnings. Everybody agree with that? Where does dividends go in retained earnings? How many shares were issued? What happened in contributed capital? Seems to start with 50 million, ended with 50 million. None. No shares were issued. So what could you do? The only change in equity must be due to changes in what? There's no treasury stock either, right? What is it? Any change in equity are due to net income, I think, and dividends. Okay? So what is equity beginning? See, 190 less 90, is that right? 100, you even gave it to you. 100 is the beginning equity. What's the ending equity? 210 less 100 is 110. It went up by 10. Everybody agree with that? What was net income? We calculated net income to be what? What was it? 24,000? Less tax of how much? 9,000. So what's that? 15. Can anybody tell me what the dividend has to be? This drives them nuts in the executive MBA. It's just crazy. How can I possibly know that? I don't know. Pretty easy to me. 115 got down to 110. How much was it? It's like $5,000. Everybody agree with that? That was your dividend. So let's calculate that. Okay, good. So can you do all these? We just did the 3%. We did the implied growth rate was the one we calculated, the 3.6, right? And then the value at with a 3% growth rate, what was that, 971 or something? Okay, let's take a look then at a real company, huh? We want to do Yum or Target? Target? Let's do Target. What do you want to know? Why are you doing that to me? Because I'm supposed to like that better, maybe. What do I want to know? All kinds of stuff about Target, right? All the stuff that goes into that formula. Could you write down the formula and then decide what you're going to go find? Okay with me. I don't care. Okay? So what would it be? I want the estimated cash flows. Okay, want that. What's the estimated cash flows again? Oh, this is too easy. Net income before tax. You can get an estimate of that. That's 1 minus the tax rate. We want the tax rate. Right? And then add to that what? Depreciation, amortization. Where are you going to find this stuff, you guys? I think I can find the income statement stuff in the income statement. I think I can find the tax rate on the income statement and also in a note on income tax. Do you think so? Fine. Okay, I want the average tax rate. Normal average tax rate. Depreciation, amortization, we're going to probably have to go. Cash flow statement, it'll always be there, right? You might find it in the income statement, maybe, right? But usually not. Usually it's buried in a whole bunch of numbers. That'll give me that, okay? What do I want for the WACC? I'm going to divide WACC into that, right? What do I need for the WACC? It's going to be estimated cash flows divided by WACC. What do I need? Weight of the debt times the cost of the debt, right? Okay? Plus weight of the equity. It's the whole thing times the cost of the equity. Okay, where am I going to find these? The weights? Not the balance sheet. It's going to be the market value, isn't it? So the weights are going to be what, you guys? Market value of assets equal market value of liabilities plus market value of the equity. What's the equity going to be? Number of outstanding shares. You guys know this well yet? Need to. Don't have to look anything up. Times the market's estimate, the market value per share right now. That's the market cap, isn't it? You can just look up market cap in the gut. Okay? But you need the outstanding shares anyway, the market value anyway. Might as well calculate it. What are we going to use for the liabilities? Proxy is going to be what? Book value. Be the book value at the end of the year, won't it? Because we're calculating things that have the closest possible to happen. We add the two together with the assets, and then we can do the weights down. Right? Okay, what are you going to do for KD? What's that? That's going to be the interest rate times what? 1 minus the tax rate, because the government picks up part of our interest, of course, okay? That's KE. Okay, what's KE? What is that going to be? Cap M. By the way, why don't we take away the tax rate? Because you can't write your income off on your tax return. I don't even know what that means, right? Okay, of course not. Okay, and dividends you cannot write off your tax return, right? They're not deductible. That's why they're not dividend expense, right, guys? Remember that principles that thump you when you call it dividend expense? It's not, right? It's not an expense. Owner's taking out some of the profit. What's this going to be? Cap M is what? Risk-free plus what? Beta times what? Return on the market minus risk-free. And I'm really talking to myself a lot here. Okay? Right? That's it, isn't it? And if you had those two, you can calculate the WACC and you're on your way, aren't you? That's everything. Okay? So where are we going to find the tax rate again? It's the same tax rate there. It's on the income statement, right? Really? It doesn't say the tax rate, but you can compute it easy for the 3 years that are there, right? For a publicly held company. And you go to the notes and find it. Okay? Where are we going to find the risk-free? What do we use as a proxy for risk-free? 30-year treasury bond is what I like to use. And my idea on that is I'm investing forever. I'm not really investing forever, but when I buy a stock, I buy all the dividends and all their earnings forever. And then when I sell it to you, you pay me all their dividends and all their earnings forever. The prediction of the future. All just kind of back to now, right? What I get is the increase in that value over the time I held the stock, right? Changing market value, plus any dividends I got. That's my return. So I like to use that. What you really should use is your investment horizon. How about if it's only a 5-year deal? You put money in for 5 years and I'm done at the end of 5 years. Well, then for heaven's sakes, use a 5-year treasury bill. Your investment horizon. What if I'm going to hold stock for only 5 years though? I still think it's the 30-year. Why? Because the stock isn't closing after 5 years. In fact, you're holding it for 5 years means nothing, right? To me, okay? There's a lot of difference of opinion on that. The old dean over at U of L was had a PhD in finance, and he wrote a really good finance book. And guess what he used? 5-year treasury bill. And he had a nice little rationale that he wrote, and I read it. And I like it pretty good. Not as well as 30-year, right? I like the idea you're investing. You're buying the stock forever, right? You know, cash flows forever. Doesn't make much difference. Well, kind of does. What's the 5-year compared to the 30-year? It's a lot bigger number, isn't it? Right? Quite a bit bigger number. So, yeah. So it does make a difference when you do the calculation. All right. What is the return on the market? Whatever you think it is, right? This is what you think it's going to be forever. And then this risk-free is the same one, right? What's the beta? That's the covariance of the company's returns, right? Against the market. Now, where do you find these things? Where do you find risk-free? You look up the 30-year bond. Where do you find the beta? Look it up for the particular company. Same place you can find the market value per share, right? The outstanding shares. The market cap, therefore. And then where are you going to find return on the market? I don't know. What do you think it's going to do forever? Okay? This is an art, not a science. I got it. So, what's the risk premium, by the way? Return on the market less the risk free. Is that risk premium? So we're doing exactly what we just did in that little example problem, only now it's with real numbers, and it gets a little hairy, doesn't it? Okay? So where do you want to go to find this stuff? What do you think, guys? Probably Yahoo. Don't go away. Don't lose it. Okay, let's see. So maybe we don't really care about that anymore. What do we want to go to? Search for what? You want to search for target first? Target. So. Then where'd you go? We should pull this across here so it's out of our way. And I should get rid of that thing. Okay. So we'll do it right up here. What do you want to look at?
Just go down to the bottom. There's like an arrow that says more, and then the financial relations are inside there.
All the way down. Isn't that colorful? When you do retailers. It was in more?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And the
Or investor relations.
Investor relations, there. They usually have it down at the bottom, investor relations is what I was looking for. They even hit it more, didn't they? Okay. Hey, look at that. There's what they're stock selling for. Okay? They're giving it to you. Okay? What do we need to look at? Just use the most recent annual report. In real life, would we use quarterly reports? Yes, right? You want more recent numbers, right? But sure. You know.
It's drawing on the side.
Oh, it's trying to open it?
It's drawing on there.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Lovely. Don't move things around. Is it loading it?
No. So quick. Because you're drawing still.
Now is it loading it?
No.
It highlighted it. I have to say, just load the freaking thing. Let's get a real computer here. Well, maybe I'll get a real computer here. Where did it go? Oh, now it's clear over there, so I have to drag it back if I want to do it by hand. All right, this is working really well, you guys. When I touch this screen, oh, it opened. Oh, okay. All right, so let's see what we need here. Where do you want to do next? I'm in 2015 annual report. Where'd you go? That's a letter from the president. 10K? Is that what you did? I would. Why not? Let's see the real one. Form 10K. Where do you want to go? 1,000,000 pages down? How many pages in this puppy?
Can't you like Control F or Control?
That'd be nice.
Search?
I don't care.
You
Control
gotta
F.
download
It's
first.
not, I don't have time.
Now what do you want to do when I control F?
I'm lazy.
Find what?
You gotta download first.
On the balance sheet.
Oh, it didn't download the report? All right. Customize it. Financial summary. Oh, we can just do financial statements? Oh, we want the 10K.
Yeah, just.
Download your report. That was real cumbersome.
And then on page like 32. It's
Okay, it happens to be on page 32, or could you type in here, I don't know, balance sheet, income statement, but then it's gonna, every time you see a balance sheet, you'll go to it, right? You have to keep going forward until you get there? Everybody knows how to do that? Okay, fine, let's not do it that way. What page was it on?
31.
31. Okay, so is this gonna let me scan through the pages? Find page 31? Will that work? No, probably not. Come on. It's not doing anything.
It's gotta be exact, it's gotta say exactly page
Yeah.
30.
So I'll find the number 31, that'll do me no good. How come it's stuck in this thing?
Do we need to bring our laptops on Thursday or would you?
Oh, I would. Yeah, I'd have it with you. There we go. All right, what page? I should have gone down there. What page do we want? 31? Yeah, that looks a little better.
32.
Maybe 32. Oh, that's making it bigger. Okay, down a page. There it goes. Oh, we're still in the management report. There we go. We're getting close. All right, there's a consolidated statement of operations. Okay, what do you want off of here?
Total assets.
What do you think, guys?
I can't see.
Sales.
Maybe the sales, they look normal. Cost of sales, they look normal. I'll use the most recent year. Gross margin looks normal, therefore. Selling administrative, hey, there's depreciation amortization. You can write that number down. We'll make sure it's the same one in the cash flow statement. Sometimes it's not. Okay, yes, sir.
So whenever you're doing depreciation, do you add that in the income statement to find your income before?
Yeah, because you get a tax break for it, remember? If I'm in a 30% tax bracket and I have 100,000 in depreciation, it saves me 30,000 real flat cash, right? It's a depreciation tax shield stuff called. So you leave it in when you calculate your tax, right? Because you get to deduct it, and you add it back because it doesn't use any cash. Got it? Okay, good. Yeah, we do 2015, sure. Okay. All right. So anyway, make sure you pick up the interest expense. You should write that down too, right? Write down your interest expense. Now we look at this and see if there's anything unusual. Everything looks normal except for gain on sale, maybe. They have gains on sales 2 of the years. Do you want to include it or not? You know what I think? I think it's totally immaterial around the other numbers. Who cares? Oh, you like that? How about though if it's huge? There's a huge gain on sale and it made their income double. Well, I'd probably leave that out, right? That I don't care much. Okay, it's probably okay. So they did it before interest expense, and they did interest expense. Now, they have discontinued operations down here. See, they really had a lot of problems in 2014. What do you think? Discontinued operations? Leave that out of there, right? I wouldn't include that, would you guys? Okay, and it was still net of tax then. Now it won't look like that anymore next year, will it? We changed GAAP, so that discontinued operation is gonna be where? Up under income, huh? Right, guys? Would you leave it out? Absolutely, leave it out. Would you pick up interest expense? I would. So I think I'd pick up, in this case, I'd pick up the same number they did. Is that what you guys did, 4922? Okay, with my hand on it, okay? And then how would I get my tax rates? I need my tax rates too. Write these numbers down as we go. You got the depreciation now? You got the net income before tax, we can just use theirs, because we're gonna use all the expenses, right, and all the revenues. If you want, you can add back that 620, if you think it's gonna make a difference, right? Be okay, I don't care, right? That'd be a logical thing to do, I guess, because it's not every year. So you could add back that 620 and make it a little higher, but that's gonna change your tax, isn't it? Okay, do that, be careful. It's not gonna be the same tax expense then. Okay, anyway, so you could pick up the 4922. How do you find out what your tax rates were? How about take 1602 and divide it by 4922? Can you do that? Of course. That makes sense? Okay. Could you take the 3653 and divide it into 1204? Sure. Could you take the 4121 and divide it by 1427? Divide it into 1427? Sure. What are those percentages for those 3 years? If you look at the notes of the financial statements, you'll find it anyway. They tell you what they are. How much were they? Somebody who found them.
Well, when you went down, it said the federal tax rate or something was 35, but the effective rate was 32.5.
Okay, 32.5. Is that what that came up to? That's the effective rate. You got it. Average rate. They had some international business probably, right?
Yeah, it broke all that down, yeah.
Tells you. And because their state tax would add to that.
Yeah.
35.
And that was in there.
Yeah, and then they deduct their tax shelters that they have, mostly international business probably. Yeah, and they did it for every year, didn't they? So can you just look at the note and find what the average tax rates are? Sure. Could you determine what you want to use? What were the 3 years? Were they all about the same? Well, this one's kind of weird, right? Look at this thing. This year, well, I guess it didn't affect, well, the tax is included in that, isn't it? So were they all about the same? It doesn't really look like it. This looks like a higher rate. This looks like about the same rate, maybe. So what's a good number? If 2 of the years are the same, use 33. That sounds good.
I got 37.
37?
37 tax rate.
Was one of the years 37?
The tax rate?
Yeah.
I did for December 12/31/15. It says 37.
Okay, you used the most recent.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what it's going to be forever? No. See, that's the hard thing, right? So I'd take an average, but would I take an average of these 3? No, that 1 year I had a big discontinued operation, right? So I messed it up probably, right? So I might take the first and the third year here and add the 2 together and divide by 2. Is that about what you did? Around 33%? It was 32.5 1 year. Was one of them really high? The most recent year is 37?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that might be bad. Not bad. I don't know. Did you take an average of all 3 years? Oh. I don't like the middle year very well because of the discontinued operations. Can you tell there's a ton of judgment here? Tons. So just do something logical, something that makes sense. It'll be okay, right? You use your head in this stuff. Okay? What else do I need? We can go to the tax note. Yeah, liabilities, where are we gonna find that? On the balance sheet, which I bet comes next. Soon, there's consolidated comprehensive statements. That's big. Okay, here we go. What's this? Balance sheet, good. Okay, what do you want from the balance sheet? Liabilities. You don't care about the assets, right? You do not. Here's liabilities, and they got current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Do they have total liabilities? No. What are you gonna have to do? I bet you add together the current at 12,622 and the non-current at 14,683, right? And that is your ending liabilities. And then get your beginning, because you're gonna want to do the average debt too, right, guys? And you already have the interest. So here's 11,736 and 15,439. Don't just pick up one of them. What does that mean? Right, guys? Okay. What else do we need off the statements? Anything? We want to make sure depreciation amortization is okay, don't we? Right? Or a lot of times you'll have to just go find it there. So how about looking at how many shares there are too? That might be a good idea. Let's see how many shares there are. Oops. Boy, that thing jumps, doesn't it? That's cash flows. Come on. Okay, it's an income. Down here at the bottom, if I can keep it from going away, we will have there it is, shares. See it, guys? 6 million shares authorized, 8-cent par value, they split it so many times. Issued and outstanding is 602,226,517. So write down 602.2 million. Everybody good? Got it? So it shows it at January 16 and January of 15, right? Year ends January 30th.
Would you go by the Yahoo Finance one?
I go by the Yahoo Finance one. I just want to make sure there hasn't been a stock split or something, right? Okay? And then the other thing, so that's a great point. The other thing is, let's look for our depreciation amortization here. Is that the same number? 2213?
Yes.
Cool. We're thrilled. Okay? Sometimes it's not. Is there anything else we want to look at? Well, you can go to the notes if you want, right? And look at the income tax note. How many of you did that? You did at least, right? I think I'd do that too. Finding the income tax note, I don't know, what do they call the income tax note? It's really a pain to find these things.
It was way down.
It's way down. It's about note number. What note number? What, you know?
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez. Right here? Really? Note. Doesn't like it. That worked really good. Go away. Anyway, if you go to note 30, real user-friendly crap. You know what? I should be able to just talk to it. Go to note 30. Why didn't it do it? Anyway, this one doesn't. This is really not a user-friendly page at all. Is it? You have to just go through one at a time? Wow. All right. That didn't do anything. Oh, there's the notes. There's summary significant accounting policies. This is probably faster than me. Share-based compensation. I must be past it, aren't I? Am I past the income tax note?
Hey Pete,
Yeah.
if the depreciation numbers are different in different spots, which one do you use?
I'd use the one from the cash flow statement because what it means is some is buried in other places.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good question too. Come on, you guys. Where is your income tax note? There's the discontinued operations. Look at the stuff that's out there. This is one of the things I wanted you to do. Take a look. Was further down. There's the lease payments. We're going to learn about all this stuff, guys, going forward. Aren't you thrilled? Ah. Where is your this segment reporting, quarterly results? No, didn't have it. Oh, well, there is one there somewhere. You found it before, right? Income tax note. All right, then what else do we want to look at, you guys?
Page 58.
Page 58.
Because they had a little note about the provision for income taxes where they talked about the discontinued operation thing. But that was way up, and then this chart was like way down.
Page 58. Near share-based compensation.
It's number 23, so you need to go up a little bit on page 60.
Oh, all right. This is hardly worth it, but I'll show it to you. Oh, there they are. Deferred tax asset. Additions, unrecognized benefits. That's lease payments.
This is note number 23, it says income taxes. And mine says 58 of 64. My page is a little different, I'm sorry.
It's not working. For some reason, this isn't finding it. There's a tax asset liability. It's on this page, probably somewhere, the page right before it. Not showing everything together. There it is, tax reconciliation. This is really horrible. Come on, Target used to be really good. Okay, anyway, so there it is. And then if we make this a little larger, pull it up a little more. Okay, this is always there, you guys. There's not much going on in Target. One of the reasons I like to use them to get you guys started. Here's the federal rate, here's the state rate, right? And then international saving this much taxes, sheltering income internationally. Change in some valuation allowance. I probably wouldn't pick that up because it's not every year. Got the idea in another. So I kind of like 33, 35. What's more normal? Internet, oh, I don't know, maybe somewhere between those two. I guess I'd be okay with 33 or so, right? This separated out, when they did this, that separated out that discontinued operation. It's handled separately. So, okay. So this is real handy, isn't it? Gave you all the information you need to make a decision. Looks like these are continuing on. Looks like that's continuing on. I guess it's bigger now. I take 33 maybe. Is that the number you picked? Yeah, maybe so. 33, close enough. Okay, so you use 33% for your tax rate. Where's the other place you go, guys? Maybe Yahoo Finance? Or MS Finance, either one, I don't care. Okay, where do you find that information? Go into Yahoo Finance. What do you need? 30-year treasury bond, maybe? Market data?
Data.
And we need data, yeah. Is market data going to work? Come on. Did it do it? There it goes. Okay, there. Market data, bonds. There it is, 30-year 2.12. You want the market yield. That's unbelievable. That's how easy it is. It's going to be different days, right? So on a take-home exam, if you do it in different days, it's going to be a different number. Okay, then we do a quote lookup maybe for target. All right, you do it right from there. You get really good at this. Not that I'm any good at it, but you guys get really good. Okay, I think it's probably the New York Stock Exchange like we did last time, right? There it is. There's the 6965 that we just had. Use this one, that wasn't on Target's page. Might have a delay. Okay, then what? You want the beta? It's right there, isn't it? Think. There's market cap, right? That's outstanding shares times market price per share, right? There's the beta, 0.52 you guys said, right? But I think what I'd do is instead of finding stuff on this page, I'd immediately go to more key statistics, see under key statistics, and it'll give you all of it on the page. Kind of nice. Okay, so what do we need? Market cap is the total value of the equity, right guys? 41.08 billion. And then what would that be? That's the market price per share, which was how much? Today it's 69.71. What was it when you tried to value this? Yeah, so it's changing, right? Of course, that's trading. 69.71 is the market value. Let's see, there's the beta at 52. How many shares are there? Here we go. Shares outstanding. Take 589.28 million, right? Shares times the market value per share of 69.71, right? So we do. And that'll give you the market cap of 41.08 billion. Did it work? Yeah, nothing to it. Okay. What else do we need here? We got the beta, didn't we? Anything else here? No, there's not much to get, is there? Beta, share price, number of outstanding shares. Oh, was that outstanding shares close to what we had on the financial statements? What was it on the financial statements?
602.2 million.
Yeah, so how far off is it? Where was the outstanding shares and buying? 589.28 million. And how much was it? 602? What must they have done? Bought back some shares and retired them? Bought back some treasury shares, something like that? Okay?
So do we use that one?
Use this one, it's more recent. Yeah, use the more recent. And then the market price is more recent too. So then what's old? Anything you took out the income statement and the balance sheet's old, isn't it? So we don't have apples and apples, do we? Would it be better to have more recent information? Sure, so you might use quarterly reports to get closer in real life. Okay, but then you have to annualize those is the problem. Okay, good. Do we need anything else here? We got it all. Make sure you get it all while you're there. We have every piece to do this, don't we? Right? So then you just do your calculations, huh? So let's get out of this. And you can do virtually any company if you can do it. So all tabs, I think. Okay, all right. So calculate it for me. Can you do it? How many of you have a value for target? 2 people? What did you get for your market value per share?
65.40.
65.40 and it's selling for about 70? That means there's a little growth, right? What'd you get?
I got 48.
Oh, that means there's a lot of growth.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah, well, maybe, maybe not. Too bad everybody else didn't do it. What happened?
I got 69.
Oh, you did get one. 69 what?
69.55.
That means there's almost no growth, right? Close to the market estimate. Okay, maybe different assumptions. Anybody else get one? That's encouraging, you guys. Everybody in the room should have this value. Next time, what are we doing next time? More of this?
Yeah.
Everybody in the room have Young for me next time. And pick another company and do it. And have this one too. Everybody get this one, you guys already did, 3 of you. And then what we'll do is we'll look at how your numbers differ and why. And if the rest of you haven't done this, you won't know what the hell we're talking about. And then I'm gonna hand you a quiz when? Thursday. And then you're gonna take home an exam and do it, right? Wow. I think if I were you guys, I'd do this. Value these 2 companies at least, okay? You guys wanna pick another one and do it? Wanna pick another company at random? What's a good company? Well, yeah, but then we can't compare them. Just pick the same one and be kind of fun. Well, no, just pick your own. You can tell us what you found. That's all right. We'll just do these 2, okay? We'll go ahead and we'll use the information we just got on target and value it, and then we'll do the same thing for Young. Make sure you've done it before tomorrow, okay? It's not a big deal to do this stuff. Here's what happens on this. Students either get all the points or none. Pretty much. Quiz, that's fine. It's all or none.
And now,
Get all.
are our answers based on, like, against your valuation?
What I do is I take your assumptions that you made, assuming they're reasonable, and I plug them into a little spreadsheet I have, and see what the answer would turn out to be, and I check your calculations and stuff.
Okay,
If you make a ridiculous assumption, something wrong,
right,
I'll take off a point or 2 for that, and I keep going.
okay,
So you get dominant points. So you don't have to have everything perfect to get points.
okay,
Otherwise, nobody would.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sometimes people get it all. Sometimes people get it all. And it doesn't have to be the same answer as mine. Make a different assumption. This is good stuff, you guys. It's kind of fun. Honest.
About 143.89.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You should have said it.
Look at
It's
you
kind of
all
fun.
tan. All tan.
Huh?
Look at you all
Looks like it
tan.
might be true.
And then I did 55.79
Looks
divided
like,
by
do you have a
point,
decimal place off or something?
Mhm. Are you
Okay,
supposed
this
to
is
do
cash
point
flow.
oh?
Cash flow, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Cash flow divided. Well, we'll look at it next time. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're wrong.
Because I still use
Right?
a 602.
Yeah, you might be right.
Okay.
Okay? It's possible. Because I thought last year people were expecting negative growth, but guess things were going screwy for them,
Yeah.
right? So it was real undervalued, and I thought, well, maybe it recovered. But maybe you're right. Maybe no growth is 145, and they're expecting negative growth. That makes sense. Yeah.
And if I hadn't put that 42 on there for the income, that'd be a problem.
The
There's
42.
Yeah, I think it was a loss or something like that. Yeah, we was looking at it, and it was like 19 or 49.22, but I also put that 42 on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
You wouldn't want to do that typically, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't do it, but I
Yeah, but
just,
it's immaterial anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it wouldn't make any difference if it's immaterial, but if it was a big number, I wouldn't want to pick it up. Yeah. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What you want are things that you repeat year after year after year. What's normal?
Okay.
What's normal? Oh, I guess I could stop it from recording.